Hello, beautiful people. It's Robyn Thomas here with Resemble Me by Robyn. Welcome back to my channel. So, if you've noticed, the last month or so, I have been uploading a lot of videos, sometimes 2 and 3 times a week, because I've been trying to clear out my iPad. And of course, obviously, by the title and by the clips that you are viewing on your screen, I am saying my final goodbyes to my clients. So I am transitioning over to another phase of life that does not involve me being behind the chair anymore. Okay. So I am taking on a new journey. And the new journey is going to be a full-time wife and mom, which I am very, very, very excited about. My clients were like, no. And it is a sad thing, but at the same time, I think it's a very wonderful thing for myself. It's something I've always dreamt of doing, and I'm very glad that God has placed my family in a space of being able to do it. So, in this video, we're just going to chat a little bit about the journey, so stay tuned. Before we get into it, this video I'm speaking over is really just like my last month of clients. So what I did was I emailed a handful, like probably like 25 or so clients, and just I've been already telling them and gearing them up for a couple of months, but I emailed the people who have been coming to me for like 4+ years. So I've been braiding for about 7 years, over 7 years. And so the people who have been like really loyal, and I've just felt like I have had a really close and wonderful relationship with, I just decided to email them first. What I normally do is open my calendar on the 15th of every month for the following month. But instead of that, I already knew who I wanted to service. And I know, like, for some people, I had some people that were upset about that. But, they haven't been in this private, personal space with myself and these clients. So I wanted to basically say thank you to them by having them not even worry about it. So I emailed them probably in the beginning of December. Again, they already knew that I was going to be stepping from behind the chair, and I told them the dates I had available and stuff, and was just like, let me know what you want. And also, I didn't have that many openings, so I was like, I'm sorry, but it's only going to have to be like, email me back so that I can get you in. You know what I'm saying? So you're seeing clips of, and not even I wasn't even able to get clips of everybody. Actually, my longest client, she does not like her face being shown. Like, I've never gotten to upload her videos on here. Maybe I've done one where her face wasn't there, but she just, that's just not her thing. So to respect her privacy, I chose also not to record her on this as well. But she's been coming to me for like really 7 years, like the whole time, basically the whole time I've been braiding. So yeah, I just wanted to just kind of show like the ending styles and some clips or whatever while we discuss things about this journey. Okay, so before we get into some things, because I am going to talk about the good, the bad, and the blessings that have come with both during this journey. Because sometimes people just like to highlight the good or like to like skip over it, but I've learned a lot of lessons, professionally and personally too, but a lot professionally. And I just want to discuss some things, but I just want to say before I do that, this is my personal experience. We are all different people. We all have different clients. There are all types of different perspectives. Even some things I'll share, it's a different perspective from me and a client. I see things certain ways, and I am who I am. And people may see things other ways and they are who they are. I'm definitely still going to be respectful as I kind of discuss some things, but I do want to, just highlight some stuff as a braider or as a stylist, from our point of view. So other braids and stylists can be like, girl, I feel you. And clients can also be like, okay, but at the same time, hold accountability on myself on some things because life happens. And I've been doing this for 7 years. I started without kids. I'm about to have my third child. like, so I just want to put that disclaimer out that nothing that I'm saying is going I hope it doesn't like hurt anyone. It's not my intention for anybody to listen and be like, she talking about me. Like, know that I love you. Know that I love you, and you've taught me things. I hope I've taught you things that I can share on this platform for other stylists, braiders, and even like potential clients of new people or other stylists and things like that. So, okay, let's hop into it. Okay, so I first moved out in San Diego with my husband in 2016, like mid October 2016. When I got out here, I had just finished, or actually, I was waiting on my to actually graduate. I was done with my degree, but I was waiting on my graduation, which was going to be that December, to get my certificate for teaching early childhood education. So my intention coming out here was to actually be an elementary school educator. When I came out here, San Diego was going through some crazy stuff financially within the school district. They were basically hiring or firing teachers and hiring them back as subs for budget cuts. So because of that, of course, teachers were going to work every day as subs because now they were being paid instead of salary, they were being paid daily. So there were really no openings. Like any school district, there weren't really any openings. And so I was like, well, what am I going to do in the meantime? So let's rewind. I have come to visit my husband in San Diego a couple of times, and we have this couple who we're friends with, who we're actually still friends with. She would see that I would do my hair. Like each time I would come out here and like, who did your hair? It's like me, I did my own. And she'd be like, oh, okay. Well, they got this page called San Diego Hair and Military that you can post on. And like, if you want to, you can do hair. And so when I came back, or when I realized that's what was going on with the school district, I was like, okay, what am I going to do? Because me personally, I don't really like sitting idle. Like I need something to do, or would like something to do. And so I reached out to her. She was like, yeah, I'll let you braid my hair. So I braided her hair, which by the way was not my best work. I was like an amateur at feed-in braids, but she wanted feed-in braids, so I did it. And then I had already had like pictures and stuff of like my last semester of college. I kind of had in my head, because she kind of was like putting in my head like, you can do hair here, so I'm like, that could be a little side hustle if I wanted to. So I had already taken pictures of like friends and family's hair, who hair I braided like back home. So I had that. So I had a couple of pictures. I wanted just to kind of start off with a portfolio. So I went on the hair page and I uploaded what I had, and I started off in November, and I started with like specials, because I was trying to like build the portfolio. While I was down there, I needed walking average, or while I was down here, I needed walking advertisements and stuff like that. So I'm like, okay. I was doing stuff, y'all, like $50 crochets, like $180 like tailbone length box braid small. Like, if you see my prices when I ended, you'd be like, damn, girl, you came a long way, because yes, I did. And I'm talking about crochet braids on military people who got color number 30 hair, not supposed to have dyed their hair, but they just keep like they hair like covered with wigs and weaves and stuff like that, coming in like, I need you to cover this with number one, color number one. I'm talking about with thick hair. Y'all, this one girl came in, and when I tell you she had mannequin head hair, and when I say that, that means like Hairline was full, hair was thicker than a snicker. I mean, I was like, oh my gosh, and I'm finna do this for $50. But I advertised it as that. And when I tell you, it would take me, like, it took me probably 5 hours to do those because I don't like bulky. I like nice and sleek. And she had to be able to put into the bun. And she wanted long. I was like, oh, this girl asking for a lot. But for me, I'm trying to get pictures and stuff. So I'm like, I need to deliver, right? I'm doing these box braids that's taking me 12, 14 hours for $150, $175. I'm like, man, look, woo! But let me tell y'all, at the end of that month, I had made almost $900 of the first month of me just being on that page with a few pictures that I had. And as I was doing people's hair, I was uploading more pictures or whatever. But I had made over 800, almost $900, and was like, oh, like, okay. And so that was November. Come December, I had this lady to reach out to me who owned a shop in Lemon Grove. And she was like, hey, my last braider has like moved on. I was hoping to get another braider. And I came across your work. Would you be interested? And I'm like, and like immediately I was like, I don't even think I responded. I had just talked to my husband, was like, what you think? I was like, because I'm really not trying to pay nobody boo friend because I'm thinking about money coming out of my pocket. And he was like, honestly, I'm already sick of wiping hair on my ass. So I think that it would be good for you to move that outside of the apartment. But it'll also be good for you to like build clientele and yada, yada, yada. At the same time, I'm still thinking, am I really finna like make this into something? Because I'm still waiting on like word back from the school district to be able to like start subbing or whatever, so I can at least get a feel of the different schools. And so then I had started seeing other people like post, other owners post that they were looking for like stylists to work in their salon. So I started to kind of think about it a little bit and was like, we'll just go with the flow. Like, okay, if the teaching thing comes, it'll come. But right now, this is like what's making you happy. To me, it was like fast money. You know what I'm saying? Even with the little bit I was making for that little month. But, I was like, I could do this. I saw some pros in it. And so come at the end of December, I had went to like 2 spots just to check them out. And I ended up going with the first lady who reached out to me because honestly, she felt like most home to me. And so I'm really like big on or I try to pay attention to like people's energy. Like, will this be a good atmosphere for me? Like, can I see myself like working amongst people? Like, I never really feel like you have to be people's friends, but I do feel like the work environment at least needs to be like cool. So she had a room actually that I was able to rent out. So I was already secluded by myself. So me and my husband decided, okay, let's just go for it. So in January of 2017, I moved in. I bought a TV because, doing braids, you need some sort of entertainment. So I brought a TV, and I brought a chair, just like, I really think it was like a folding chair, like with some cushion. I bought a little organizer and brought like the main products I need, combs. I wasn't washing hair yet or anything, so I really just need like combs and gels and pins to like hold the hair away and stuff like that. So I worked there for a while, and then she said, I really liked it, and my clients really liked it. And then she said that she was going to basically increase the rate of the room because she could have 2 people back there. And that I can either stay back there with the increase or I can move to the front because the person in the front was leaving. So I'm like, well, I ain't trying to pay you no more than I was paying you. So I'm going to go ahead and slide on through the front. So I go to the front or whatever, and I got the feel of working in an actual shop because in the back, I would just like close my door and we'd be like really secluded, but going to work in the front. So I worked in the back for probably about 6 months. And then I went to go work in the front. Probably 5 months really. And so then I went to go work in the front, and it was a totally different feel. Like, you're in the midst of everything, so many different conversations. I really did enjoy that. I enjoyed, like, sometimes you go to work, you don't really want to talk. but your clients may want to talk a lot. They had many people to talk to, you know what I'm saying? Of course, I wouldn't just like not talk to them, but what I mean? As women, we be on our cycles, we be cramping, we just, working hard. It's such fast money that you just taking every witching client, that's coming towards you or whatever, trying to make room, trying to make time. And note, by this time, my husband had gone on deployment. So I'm really trying to like stay busy so I can keep my mind off the fact that he's gone. So I was working up there, and again, there were pros to that, but I also saw some cons that I just was like, no, like hell no, like I don't like this. Like, being with a lot of women, not saying that it can work. As grown people, you should be able to make things work. But there were a lot of personalities. There was like cattiness. And I was just like, I'm here to do hair and going on about my business. You know what I'm saying? I was never involved in anything. But when you're not involved in anything, you hear everything from all sides. And it was just draining. Like, it was draining. That, and I couldn't control the atmosphere. I realized I liked being in the back in the secluded room by myself because I can control the atmosphere of for my clients. You know what I'm saying? Like, we be in the front, and sometimes I would have like kid clients, and the music would have like be raunchy and cussing. I'm like, I know, this is a beauty shop environment and it is what it is, but goodness, can we like change the music like for the taste at least of who's around, so just little things like that I realized I didn't like. Or sometimes clients will want to talk to me, but there were so many opinions around that they didn't want to talk. You know what I'm saying? Like, we all know we go get our hair done, it's a release. Like, it's almost like you getting a little therapy session and stuff like that. So I noticed that clients just was like, some of them was like, I didn't really, they didn't really like that, or they liked the fact that I was in the back before I moved to the front. So at this time, I'm having a lot of my clients are still like military people, but I'm starting to get clients now of people who just live in San Diego. So I have a lot of like walking advertisements and stuff like that. So it's going really well. My clientele is building. Everything is great. Then I went to this braiding class for Rare Essence Academy because, like I said, I was like bad at feeding braids. So I wanted to learn how to do feeding braids really bad, and I like really good, like really bad, really good, if that makes sense. And I wanted to start introducing locks, but I really wanted to be good at it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wanted to know the knowledge behind it. I didn't just want to do them. And so I took this class. I drove up to LA for a 2-day class. I won't get into a lot of the details, but when I was there, somebody of a friend of the people in the shop basically called me and told me about things that were being said about me, and that just changed the whole atmosphere for me when I got back. Like, I was just like, okay, like I don't do that. And the reason I believe the things that they were saying is because, again, when you're a person on the outside that's not involved in anything and looking in, you really get to see how everybody is, like, without having a bias, right? Like, I'm not stating my opinion. I'm just seeing people state their opinions back and forth, and I'm seeing how people are moving. And when I got the call, I was like, and something that always seems to happen, y'all, I'm not gonna lie. It's like when something good is about to happen, it's almost like a little storm clouds over. Like, I was so excited. I was so ready to elevate. Like, I had woke up like 2 hours before my alarm that day because I was so excited about the class, because I'm like, I've now decided this is what I'm going to do. Like, the school district called me and was like, hey, we have some openings. And I was like, I talked to my husband and I was like, babe, I think I really want to just do hair. And he was like, well, let's do it. Like, it's going good. You know what I'm saying? So let's do it. So I had just made the decision. I'm doing things to elevate myself within the business, and then boom, I get this call and I'm like, I'm not really going to let it, try not to let it bother me. Let me say that, because I was bothered. But, so anyways, I get back to the shop, and the owner could tell it was different. And it's like, yes, it is, because I heard, and there was an opportunity where she could have said something to me But I seen her decide not to. So you've just decided how our relationship is going to be, and she probably didn't say anything because she may have felt bad or whatever. But from my point of view, it would have been nice if you would have stated your fears or your whatever, that was coming up on you. I think that would have been better for me. So anyways, I just went and I just kept working or whatever. By the time my husband got back, which was in December, that incident happened in July. So I just kind of like was waiting till he got back. So when he got back in December, um, come January, I was like, hey, we were living in these townhomes. And then I was like, I want to be in my own shop. Like, I don't want to work with anybody anymore. I like being by myself. I like the atmosphere. And so we decided to upgrade our lease was ending. And so we decided to upgrade our lease to a bigger spot. And the spot that we upgraded to, it was in the same complex, but it was now in front. So it was on the main street. And so they had a lot of like different shops. So like a nail shop, a food place, a little 7-Eleven type deal. Wasn't 7-Eleven, but like a little convenience store, like a tutoring place, an exercise place. They had a lot of small businesses in the front. And I was like, hey, we can move to one of the ones in the front because an availability came, right? And I could use the bottom part, which they call the gallery. They call it that, but they can't call it a room because it didn't have a closet. Doesn't matter. I'm just saying. And I was like, we can transform that into a shop, and it had two separate doors. So it had an entrance door and then a door in the inside that can go to the house. So it was like separated from the house. Like all of my clients didn't know I lived there. They were like, how much does a place like this cost? And I was like, oh, it's my apartment. I live upstairs. I was like, what? Like that's how secluded it was. So I ordered a dryer, I ordered a chair, I ordered a portable shampoo bowl because it had a bathroom in there. I just used that, attached it to the sink. And again, it had a bathroom. I got the TV from the shop. I think we actually still had the one that we had when I was in the room by myself. I mounted that on the wall. I got a little table with some snacks. I had my storage area. Now I have like my dryer because I've been washing people's hair at this point. So I have like more products and more things, right? And I just created an atmosphere for my clients. And what I did was, so I let them have access to the TV. So I just gave them a remote. I had, I think like Netflix and was it Prime? I don't even know if Prime was there, Amazon. I feel like I had two different things people could watch. And then I just had my music playing softly in the background as my entertainment because most of the time my head was down and I wasn't really paying attention to the TV show because I was like kind of focused on their head. So I just let them like have full reign. I had clients that would come in, they would work, they would take meetings, they would watch TV, they would sleep. I just really love the atmosphere. And it was on the front. It was easy to find. Like I just really, really enjoyed it. And so boom, I'm taking it up a notch, right? So I've decided now I really love using expressions hair. Like I'm tired of people bringing different hair. I don't like some of the hair people bring in. Sometimes it's not enough because I don't really know how many bags they need. And I try not to make people overspend. So I'm like, okay, try this amount of bags. Let's do this. Let's try this or whatever. And so, I decided to start offering hair, right? So even when I told you earlier, I was like, it seems like every time I'm finna elevate, like a little storm or a little rain comes about. So let me tell you about this woman. So, pause. So back at the other shop, that's when I started to implement rules because people was trying me. Like I had people scheduling appointments. I didn't have deposits at the time, scheduling appointments, and they were coming literally like 30 minutes to an hour late. Now, I didn't have to do their hair, but I had already counted that money in my head. And again, I was trying to stay busy while my husband was gone. So all of the policies that I came up with was because of things that people have done with not respecting my time. Like I have always been a person, like I would get there 30 minutes early to make sure even if they got there early, it's like, oh, she ready. Like, yeah, I'm ready for you. You know what I'm saying? Like I would take time to eat between clients and not like while I'm doing their hair. Like I've always been extremely professional. Like when I moved to my townhome, I had like a handful of clients that was basically like, girl, you was a fish out of water at that last spot. And I'm like, really? They like, yes. And not even as a knock to the shop, but just differences between my professionalism and what I offer. And what I expect also from my clients. Like, this is a two-way street. A lot of clients feel like, you want my money. And it's like, I mean, of course we do. But you ain't finna come up in here and think you finna talk to me no kind of way. You ain't finna treat me no kind of way and think I'm finna stand behind you for 6 hours and do your hair at a yes a massa. No. That's not what's about to happen. Not from me, at least. So, anyways, I had policies in place. At this time, I was using like Vagaro for setting up my appointments, to make it easier. And so this lady texted me, and I was also texting people at the time. And so this lady texted me and was like, hey, I'm a at home mom of three. I need a woman's day. Like, I need some me time. And one of the things I really want done is to get my hair braided. So I'm like, oh, perfect. So I sent her to my booking site, just like, all the information is there. Click on the tabs to, get explanations and just let me know, what you want. And at that time, too, I was kind of doing mini consultations. Basically, like, just send me a picture of your hair, so I know what I'm working with or whatever. And so she was like, yeah. Oh yeah, so she was just like, okay, cool. And so she sent me, a picture of her hair, and she had um like blonde hair, basically like a 27-613. And so I told her, I said, hey, because of the color, she wanted an appointment kind of fast. So she was like, I need an appointment like as soon as you can. And I just so happened at that time I was working like 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. So I could take like 2 to 3 people a day depending on what it was. So I only had like maybe a lot client on the weekend. I was like, hey, I could take you, this weekend actually, in the evening time. So I did that, and so we scheduled or whatever, and I was like, hey, it was probably like, oh, she probably still had a week to go. I said, San Diego is really scarce on expressions colored hair. Your best bet would be to order it off of like Amazon so that it gets here in time. So she waited until the day before, which was Friday, to go and find the hair. And she was like, hey, I've been to 3 hair stores, I can't find it. At this time, I know what kind of hair I want to use. I done already told you, it just is what it is. I have turned people away from not having the hair that I want. That's just me, and that's just how I roll. So she gonna text me and say, I knew that you were too controlling by the way that you over explain everything on your website. I have been to the Dr. Carrie, and she can do hair with multiple textures. I have never experienced this, and I know you're not gonna give me my $25 deposit back, and I don't even care about you. Like, she was going off. And I was like, who complains about an over explained website? You told me you was a mom of 3, and basically you ain't got time for nothing. So I would think that you not having to go back and forth with me doing text, and you being able to assess everything on the site would be easier for you. But at the end of the day, she was just upset because I told her I'm not gonna do her hair. Now, mind you, before I said it, like, in the message that I replied to her, I was just like, hey, I really like using this hair, or this is the hair that I use. So I haven't even stated it yet on my Instagram, but I actually have hair coming in on Saturday. I just don't know what time it's coming, and I'm now going to start offering the hair. I know that we scheduled for this Saturday, but maybe if we can, reschedule for a later date, maybe sometime next week, I can find a place to put you in. I will have the exact colors that you need. And then she went off of me. I was like, oh no. I was really like, why she go off of me? Like, like that. Like, I'm like, why is she so upset? But at the end of the day, it's just how she was feeling. She wanted her hair done. And I just realized, yeah, I wouldn't want to service her anyway. I sent that little $25 deposit back, you know, because that's just what I do. If I'm unable to service you because of something on my end, that's just what I'm going to do, you know. But for her, she had that attitude, and I was like, no, 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 no. It's over with. Like, I don't want to sit behind you and do your hair. Like, I'm not a suck up. I don't like to fake it. I just felt like the energy would be off, and I was just like, no. So, anyways, I started to offer that, and then I was already using like oil. So I had like tried to sell some oils when I was at the shop back in 2017. Okay, so I'm at the new salon or the townhome. This is February of 2018. So I worked at the other shop for 1 year, from January to January, really, 17 to 18. And so there, I had kind of like sold some oils just to kind of like test it out to see what people thought or whatever. I did some adjusting to it, and then by the time I made it to the studio, I was using the updated adjustments basically for like a couple of months. Then I decided, I think in like September of that year, to actually like started selling Roots products, and I, you know, named them Roots products. So I had a lot of growing that I did in the townhome. And then so I was thinking about, well, we were deciding to downgrade because we wanted to try to save money to buy a house. And so we downgraded from that townhome into an apartment. So I heard about this place who had individual suites called Solar Salons, which I'm at now. And the first one, the one that I actually, I had reached out to them prior to them opening this location. But by the time they were going to open, I was about to have my first son, and was like, oh, you know, well, I'll just, you know, wait it out. Um, you know, because I was going to be home with him for a while and stuff like that. So I was like, okay, well, let me just reach back out to them and see if I'm able to, if they have like a suite that's open or whatever. And so fortunately they did. And I signed a contract with them and I started working with them. And y'all, when I say my business just went through the roof, like it just skyrocketed. Like, oh my God, it just took off. It just took off. So this is February of 2020. So I was in my townhome for 2 years. So from 18 to 2020. Yeah, I was in my townhome. Then I went to rent out at Sola. So my business just like, I just was getting like so many people who were like wanting appointments basically. And so I worked there for a little while because remember, I only worked there for about a month, and then here comes COVID. I worked there for a month, and here comes COVID. And so the next month, or it was March, I think. No, no, no. It was April because I think my brother had come. Was it March or April? It was either March or April that they shut us down. I can't remember now. It's like, oh my God, did they even happen? Yes, it did. That they shut us down. And so I'm out for a month or so. And then I kid y'all not, y'all. I get pregnant with my second child, with my second son. And I remember by the time they lifted our like stay at home order that we could go back to work, I had the worst morning sickness. I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't schedule all these people and I'm so tired. I am exhausted. I am sick, and I done got all these people's deposit, and I got to do their hair. So we went back to work for about like a month or so, and then they shut us down again. When I tell y'all, I was so grateful to the Lord God Almighty Himself, because I was like, I need to sleep. Like, and I was glad that I didn't have to like endure that, or I didn't have to like counsel on people. Cause baby, I was tired, and you still gotta pay that booth rent even if you're not bringing in no money. And what I was not trying to do was give away money that wasn't, So, anyways, they shut us down the second time. Then we was out. So by the time we, oh, so the matter of fact, well, I ain't gonna say that. Okay, so by the time we went back, I was like about done with my first trimester, if not done or whatever, and was back to like, okay, I can do people's hair. Like, I'm good. So I actually, the pandemic was a terrible time, but I ain't gonna lie, I was grateful to the Lord that I was able to finish out that first trimester of sicknesses at home. Do you hear me? So yeah, so worked and did all of that. Um, and again, my business just was oh my gosh, going so well. It was going so well that I had people emailing me like, I know that you only open up in a month, but can I pay extra on the deposit because I got this trip coming up and I really want to get my hair braided by you. So clients were actually the reason that I started to do jump the line appointments, right? So I had so many people when they got their jump the line or got booked in advance, and then they didn't told a friend and they didn't told somebody else. So I just kind of started offering it as a service. And what happened was, so the jump the line was $50, right? And basically you couldn't get a refund, and it didn't go towards your purchase, or it didn't go towards your hair, because I'm setting out, I was doing it like up to 3 months in advance. I'm basically not scheduling things that I could be doing with myself, with my family, because we've made this agreement that I'm going to do your hair, on this day for your trip or for your occasion. So, if you want something, you got to give a little something, you know what I'm saying? And so, I started to do that. But then what happened was, God is so good. My calendar would be booked out 3 months at a time. So I'm like, oh, wow. So I upped the jump the line price because now I'm in such high demand. I upped it to $100, and people were paying $100, not going towards their purchase or anything, or not going towards anything, to be able to get their hair braided by me. And I was so grateful. Like, I never took any of that for granted. I always made sure to show up and to give my absolute very best, if not 110%, just because these people, were counting on me and stuff like that. So everything was going good. Products being sold was going good. Everything was going good. So let's fast forward to, I have my son, and I actually don't take off as long as I did with my first son, because we are like this close to getting our house, right? So if buying a house comes with so much stuff, like it's so many little things. You got to pay for this, you got to pay for this, and they say, well, now you need this, now you need that, and that's 100, that's 200, that's 500, that's like, wow. So I came back to work, and I was working, I was still doing the jump the line, so I was still like, booked out in advance. But also when I came back, I started to introduce my hair retention programs, right? And so the hair retention programs were doing very well, but they started to clash with the jump the line, because the hair retention program members were able to book again up to 3 months in advance. But I had to be able to schedule them before I actually scheduled my jump the line clients. So it was becoming a little bit of a task, because y'all, you would think people paying for stuff that they would like be on it, but it was hard for me to get people to email me back. But at the same time, people were starting to go back to work, from the pandemic, like going physically to work. So it started to become like a little difficult to schedule out in such advance, and just different stuff like that. So I had to give up something, and not to mention, having 2 kids is a whole lot of more work than having one. Like, you have 1 kid, but 2 kids is like 50 kids. If it's a mama up in here, I'm gonna need you to say amen in the comments or something, because what is up with that jump? Anyways, so I had to take away one. So I decided to take away the jump the line. I'm starting to have more responsibility, like or greater responsibility now that I have a second child, and I want to make sure that I am available for my husband and for my kids, and doing that so far in advance was just taken away from it. So I switched up the hair retention programs to basically booking, a couple of days before the calendar opens. So the calendar opened on the 15th. I will have them book, from the 1st through the 14th, so that we could make sure that everybody was good. I wasn't like pushing myself too far, because I did have a couple times where I had to like cancel on clients because I was just so tired. I had made these obligations, but you don't know when your kids are going to get sick. You don't know when you're going to not feel well. Like I would have times where my body would literally just shut down to the point where I could not get out of bed because I just was working so hard, And that comes with the business. Like I've had a couple of like clients so braids, right? And my braids last people 2 to 3 months, right? And so I have had a couple of people where my feelings have been hurt as a braider, of somebody who's been doing their hair for years. Like I've had, some maybe a year, some maybe two or whatever. But let's just say I have a client whose hair I've been doing for 1 year, and I've had to counsel on her. She gets her hair done maybe 5 times. So like she may come every maybe 5 or 6 times, y'all know. So she may come every like 6 to 10 weeks, depending on exactly what they're getting done, right? And so, say I do their hair in January, or I have them scheduled to do their hair in January, but I got sick kids at the house, and unfortunately have to cancel, And by the next time they want their hair done, say they go 3 months, it's April, and unfortunately somebody is ill again, and I have to cancel. So for them, it's like, you're unreliable. And it's like, man, I'm so reliable because I've shown up for everybody's appointment, since I've had to cancel yours. Like it just so happens that sometimes you have those things that happen, and it just sucks, because you don't want to look at, for me, I don't want to look a certain way, like I don't care, or like, dang, why she always canceling my appointment, or and it's like, man, it's totally nothing against you. It's just that my family absolutely comes first, But then, y'all, I have a client who, if you've been coming to me for 4 years and I got 2 kids and we've sat there and we've discussed how hard it is, or you've given me encouraging words, about having multiple children and saying, listen, it's not going to be it gets easier, or it gets different, let me say, but 2 small ones, like, you're going to have to choose your family. So I'm getting all of this encouragement from you. And when I need to cancel an appointment, because I think the first time I think, oh man, 2021 was or 22, no, last year was 2023. 2023 was a very tough year. No, 2022 was a very tough year for me, y'all. Like 2022, and really part of 2023, there was a lot that was going on. Having 2 kids, they're 18 months apart. Just me, I started having like sicknesses started to come back, and I think mainly because of like overworking myself and stuff like that, but just a lot of different things. So anyways, I had a client who I had been servicing at this point for 4 years, and I won't get too much into detail, but basically I've had to counsel on her twice. Now she goes, basically she's upset because it's like, out of 4 years now, she's upset because it's like, people think that they always understand until it's them, and then they feel that they're the exception to the rule. And I really don't like that about people. Like, it's always like, oh yeah, girl, you gotta do what you gotta do. It's about your family. But then if you say it to them, it's like, oh, well, you just must have been gearing up or something. I don't really know what they think. I'm not gonna put words in people's mouths, but it's like, it could happen. And this particular client, she probably was coming to me for about like 4 times. She would keep her braids in for about three months, and then take a little break and come back. So probably about 4 times a year. So I did have a point where I had to cancel her appointment. I did ask her to reschedule, but She just decided to, well, I'm just gonna try like a sew in or something. So she went to somebody, she had been wanting to try something different. So she did that. And what I always do, if I have to cancel, I immediately send the deposits back because I don't want anybody to think I'm trying to gyp them. And then when it comes to rebooking, I don't ask for a deposit. You know what I'm saying? Like if we're not able to go ahead and reschedule, or if I'm like the day of or something, because sometimes I don't know that I'm gonna wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning and be throwing up or have a throbbing headache. I cannot come and do your hair. I cannot get up, prep your hair for 2 hours, and then come and do your hair for another 10 hours. I can't work 12 hours with a throbbing headache. I'm not going to do that. Like, and so basically that client was really upset because she had an obligation that I was unable to do her hair, for her to accommodate her for her obligation. And I had to cancel that morning. Like, I could not get out of the bed, you know. And she was basically like, you don't, I don't feel like you value my service, me being a client. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like I wish people, like her appointment was at 6. So she waited till like after 9:30 to email me, so this means that she thought about what she was going to say before she said, like she thought, should I send this? And she decided to send it. And it really hurt me because I was thinking, like, I totally understand, all of this really is perspective. I'm going to say that again. It's perspective. But for me, when I do things for people, I don't tell people this is why I'm doing this for you. Y'all, I can remember the day that I seen how sad she was for missing one of her kids' events, right? I always did her hair on a Sunday because she has so much hair, beautiful, beautiful set of hair, or head of hair. But she would end up missing events of her children because like their events would be scheduled on Sunday, but she would come and get her hair braided. Okay, yes, it was just 4 or 5 times out the year, but it didn't matter. She loves her children and she wants to be there, for everything that her children are involved in, which I totally understand. So I remember I felt her energy of just being so sad of not being able to attend. And I had told myself, I said, you know what? The next time I do her hair, I am going to make a big breakfast in the morning. So mind you, I was getting to the shop at 4 o'clock for her or for not for her, but it's a part of the business to prep the hair. She got mixed hair, so I prepped it. I mixed it all together and prepped it. She got small, long, knotless, so that's a long time, right? And then I would, braid her hair for like 10 or so hours. I normally would take a lunch break, but I said, I'm gonna get up, make a big breakfast, or I'm gonna have like something. So I may have like a sub from the day before, only ate half and then saved half. So I'm gonna have a big, nice breakfast, and I'm gonna bring things that I can like keep in like a bag to snack on. So like I may make myself a sandwich, or like for instance that sub, I may transfer it to a plastic or a Ziploc bag so I can just bite it and then get back to braiding. I don't have to touch it because I have the bag, like I have it in the bag. So I just open it and then bite it and, cover it back up, put it on my little stand over there. But I remember when I got done, I had finished like, because I didn't take a lunch break, we had finished like 2 hours or so early. And she was like, wait, you're done? How long? You didn't even take a break. And I was like, I know, and she was like, wait, hold on, and so she tipped me so well. I remember like that was the biggest tip I ever got. And she had tipped me like over $100 because she was going to be able to like attend the rest of the events of the day for her children. And since then, I was so happy that she was so happy that I just knew whenever I did her hair, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to make sure that she can get out here at a decent time where she can at least make half of the events of the day. So when she messaged me her long message about how disappointed she was in me and how, being a person of your word, or of some sort is the most important. Being able to, no matter how good you do hair, being able to get my hair done shows me how much you don't value me. I was just like, wow, she didn't even think about the last year, how I've sacrificed sitting down off of my feet for lunch. And again, I don't tell people the things that I'm doing from my heart because I'm doing it from my heart. Y'all, it was over with. By the time I was able to look at a screen without shutting my eyes because it was so bright, even on the lowest setting, I basically was like, you know what? I really appreciate you being a client of mine for the past 4 years. Thank you for your conversations. Thank you for everything. I really hate that this is what is bringing our relationship. Because she told me, I'm not coming to you again, basically, And I was like, I hate that this is what's bringing our relationship to an end, but I wish the best for you and your family. And I was like, I was going to try to, figure out how to fix it, but I couldn't think this morning. It was so hard for me to send the, cancellation because of how bad my head was throbbing. And so I was just like, I just decided I don't want to deal with it again. Like, I just know I don't. Like, I can't, And so that really hurt me, and I'm sure for her, she had a lot going on, that she's preparing for. But we have to be mindful of those things. So have grace with your stylist. Like, remember that there are people and not robots. Like, you're just one client for the time allotted for you. You're not their only client. You know what I mean? So I've had some good, some bad. I've had way more great experiences than I've had bad. Like, I can count on one hand the bad experiences that I've had. And again, everything has shown me just I've learned a lesson from everything. I've taken things from people. I've hated that, things have happened to where I wasn't able to continue, as their braider, on my end. And people have done some things where I'm just like, hell no, I don't want you coming to my church, but that's just life, and those things happen. I hope that they, got lessons from that too. I am so, so, so grateful for how well my products do, like, amongst my clients. I can't wait till the world experiences my products. I do have people from different states, like random people. I'm like, how do they know me? Or they've seen my stuff on YouTube, on here, on this platform, and decided to give it a try and loved it. And now I have recurring people purchasing products off of my website. Like, I'm just so grateful that me coming in, when I came in, it didn't start off about the money. Of course, as you grow and you elevate, and you want to provide for your family, money does matter. But I've always continued to do styles that I wanted to do. I've never done styles I didn't want to do. I love Senegalese twists so much, but I absolutely hate installing them. And you have never seen a Senegalese install on this channel because I don't like doing it, So I'm very glad I've stayed true to myself and have not been about the money. The money comes when you give your heart and your soul. God will provide a way for you to provide for you, right? And so I'm so grateful that when I came into this, it was just a side hustle, and then I decided to make it serious. I'm very grateful, that I was able to do something that I loved, and it turned out to be such a marvelous, magnificent thing. I'm so grateful that me ending this is not because of ailments or because I have to sit down. I'm so grateful that God has granted me this opportunity to be able to be there for my family in a way that I absolutely want to be there. I love every single person that I've come in contact with. If I've done their hair one time, this is a military town, so sometimes I only do people hair once, but I have learned many lessons from people, even when they don't talk. People teach me how to do things like be still. My clients have put courage in me in places they had no idea I feared, just by their conversations, just by their life stories. Like, when I tell y'all, I love every single last one of my clients so much. Everybody who was with me through the price increases and stayed down, that was like, I'm here, we ride. I love y'all. Like, I really, 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 really do. Like, I really, really, really do. I am so grateful that God has blessed me this past 7 years to experience and to grow a business, and to put trust in myself and to believe in myself. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what else to say other than I'm grateful. Like, I am extremely, extremely happy to be moving on to another phase in life, but I do not regret anything about my business, from doing it as a little side hustle to having a little hashtag braids by Rye to making it, such an, to me, like an elegant experience, right? To Resemble Me by Robyn. Like, I love and am grateful for every transition that there is in my life, And so this is just another transition. This is just another transition. So, um, yeah, I'm really, really, really grateful. My most asked question amongst everybody, and I kid you not, every client, are you still going to be selling your products? Absolutely, yes. So, although I'm not going to be behind the chair braiding anymore, Resemble Me by Robyn is absolutely not over. Okay. Resume Me by Robyn is not over. I'm just going to be transitioning into other things that I really want to do. Look, that's my last client. That was my last client. So I finished on January 19th. I finished on January 19th. Yes. But so no, it's not going to be the end. Um Roots products are still for sale on my website at www.resemblemebyrobyn.com. Okay, the name of my YouTube channel. My YouTube now will be a personal YouTube channel. Y'all, I have been wearing braids since I was 4. So I've been wearing braids since I was 4 years old, and I am ready for something different. Like, I've already spent like a year or so experimenting with my hair, as you've seen on my on this, well, like, just from me doing other people's hair, you've seen my hair, right? Even though I haven't had videos like explaining stuff, but I'm just really ready to take it up a notch. I really enjoy my hair, and now that I don't necessarily have to be a walking advertisement, and I haven't had to be a walking advertisement for a while, but I still like to be. But anyway, this is actually my first set of braids in like a year and a half. But I just want to do whatever I want to do now. Like, I truly want to do whatever I want to do now. And I want to use this platform for us to have fun, or I want to have fun with it. And I hope that you all, stay with me along the journey of me having fun with my hair. I'm still all about hair health, because I don't want to be walking around here looking like no little bald headed scallywag, hair all dry and all that stuff. That's just not me. So I'm still going to be doing hair health, but I'm just going to be doing it a little differently. I'm going to be experimenting. I'm going to be trying new things. So I'm really, really, really excited about that. I'm really excited about that. For my, let me see. I will still be doing my hair retention programs. Instead of me being the actual braider stylist for the clients, it'll just be done virtually, and I'll be bringing more information as I kind of transform that and make that the best that I can. Um, you know, because it's now not going to be in person, it's just going to be all virtual. I know that we'll be able to have meetings instead of I don't want to get too much into it, but I've learned a lot from how I've been doing my hair retention programs over the past few years, and I've gotten feedback from people not even telling me feedback, right? So I've gotten feedback and of adjustments that I need to make this a very easy process for everybody, and so that we can get the best outcome for everybody. So yeah, as always, I'm always learning as I'm going. The things that I have taught at the beginning of my hair retention programs, some of those things have been updated. I update throughout, so I'm not I pay attention. Let me say that I pay attention, I listen, and I learn, and I give the best coaching that I absolutely positively can. And so I'm definitely going to, be bringing it back. And hopefully that's going to drop in May. Definitely follow my Instagram. There's a helicopter. I don't know if y'all hear it, but wow. But follow my Instagram, Resemble Me by Robyn, so that you're updated on that, and my website again, www.resemblemebyrobyn.com, for all updates. Yeah, so end of spring, beginning of summer is when everything should be popping off. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. I really, really, really appreciate you all and hope you stay with me. Peace and blessings.